Hey everyone, welcome back to the Week 6 Team Builder for the Pokeball Draft League for the Steel City Skarmories. We're up against the Maryland Torterrapins this week. They had a fairly scary team. They made some changes halfway through the season, picking up things like Indeedee. That gave their team a little bit of extra dynamic and modes it could run. One thing I did notice in this week, though, was they had a pretty big dark weakness, so this week we wanted to try to exploit that. So while he did have a pretty big dark weakness, I was also worried about the Mimikyu countering my dark Pokemon. So while I wanted to bring Hydreigon with Heat Wave to combine with Drought, the standard Dark Pulse, I also wanted to bring a Terra Rock Terra Blast. It would do well against his Skeledirge and also against a Lokix that I was actually fully expecting him to bring. So you combine that with Life Orb just to put out even more damage and throw a Protect on there because I really like Protect. And I thought this set would provide a speed for us in case we couldn't get Trick Room up that reliably, and also give us a lot of coverage throughout the week. Next up, we have our trusty Hatterene. He did have some fairy weaknesses, mostly the Great Tusk I was looking at. So we wanted to bring a fairy type user, and we also have Mystical Fire as a little bit of a mix-up. So we brought Protect, Trick Room, Dazzling Gleam, and Mystical Fire. This gives us the Trick Room we want, as well as Dazzling Gleam, which is a solid move, and Mystical Fire, like I said. And we did Terra-type Fire as well. This was mostly for the Lokix, but most especially for the Goldengo. I was fairly certain he was going to bring Goldengo, so we wanted to have something to counter it that he maybe wouldn't expect, since it would be Steel-type into our Hatterene that has Fairy typing, obviously. Next up, we have Rabsco. Rabsco has quickly become one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Trick Room setters. It provides a lot of utility, again, with Revival Blessing as well. And I wanted to go with Bug Buzz this week. Bug Buzz actually gets around Substitute, and I think it also gets around Disguise from Mimikyu, which is one of the reasons I brought it. Didn't really have it here for the offensive power, but with Indeedee and Slowbro also on the opponent's team this week, Bug Buzz was the move of choice for coverage for the Rabsca if it was in long enough after getting off a Trick Room and Revival Blessing. Focus Sash again just to try to keep it out a little bit longer so it could hopefully get off both of those aforementioned moves. The Torkoal makes his return once again. And again, this is mostly for the same reasons we brought Mystical Fire on the Hatterene. We want to deal with Goldengo, we want to deal with Lokix, and just Eruption with Charcoal Under the Sun is huge. We decided to give it Terra-type Ghost this week. With the Mimikyu on his team and the Goldengo, I felt like Terra-type Ghost with a Terra Blast would do a lot of damage, as long as we could use it effectively. It also enables the Heat Wave from Hydreigon, and then enables one of our other Pokemon that we will go over shortly. So let's get into that Pokemon. Scovillain, which I don't think we've used in a few weeks. We're bringing it with Rage Powder to redirect attacks and hopefully get some stuff set up. Solar Beam Under the Sun is one turn, which hopefully lets us deal with things like Slowbro more easily, Protect, and Flamethrower. Flamethrower, again, Under the Sun, can deal with Goldengo, can deal with Lokix. I can never figure out how to pronounce that. Citrus Berry, just for a little bit of health back, assuming we don't get one shot. And we want a special defense, so it's a specially defense-focused Scovillain, because we didn't put any hit point investment into it, but we did want to make it a little more resistant to stuff like the Goldengo that would be coming out, Slowbro, Hatterene, Indeedee, and just stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a curveball. We haven't used it in a little while, so hopefully it works out for us. And finally, the Kingambit. This guy, being Dark and Steel type, really was only going to have to worry about the Skeledirge, and even then, he'd have ways to deal with it. We decided to go with Sucker Punch for the priority move against his multiple dark weaknesses. Iron Head as just a solid Steel-type moves, especially if he brought things like Mimikyu. Kowtow Cleave as a dark move that can't miss and has really good power, especially when powered up by Supreme Overlord. And then Poison Jab. Poison Jab was a little bit of just a random move thrown in. I wanted to run an Assault Vest set and couldn't figure out the fourth move. Maybe I should have gone with things like Low Kick or a fighting type move. But I didn't think I'd have to use it that much. If we had seen Mimikyu, we could have used Iron Head. And that was the big one. So yeah, I felt like Kingambit this week was going to do a lot of damage. Once again, my opponent had a huge dark weakness. And I wanted to mess around a little bit more with priority moves like Sucker Punch. So yeah, there's our team for this week. The opponent has a really scary team. Goldengos, who I wish I drafted first overall when I had the option. The fact that I didn't, I'm hoping doesn't bite me in the butt this week. But I'll hopefully have the battle up in a couple days and hopefully see everyone then.